I'm here with the great Richard Russell in Montego Bay, Jamaica, one of the greatest tennis players Jamaica I've ever produced. Richard Russell have won over some of the biggest names, Arthur and not many more. Davis Cup was probably like the prime of your life. And we're hoping that 6-7 years from now, we can get the, the Federal Cup ladies or the men's back to that level. So I'm here talking about my days at Half Moon. So all the things that I've learned. Mr. Russell, I remember you have this kid named Jimmy Castle. And by the way, did you know that I'm the one who taught Charles Bronfman a 200 forehand? Did you know that? So Charles Bronfman, as you guys know from Canada, he used to come to Half Moon. Every time these guys come to Half Moon, I feel like I was in heaven. When these guys leave, I feel I was crying. I mean, it was just so different. So Jimmy Castle was one of the top players in America. And I remember he came down to stay with you to learn tennis. And we were doing the unit turn, or they call it a turn, racket back in the days. And I didn't even know that I was doing the drop step. And you have said to me, because I go on the backboard, when you go on the backboard, you're learning things that no one can teach you. You're going to learn it naturally. And you said to me, why you never teach him the drop step? I was like, why you never teach him this? And I'm like, what's that? So I never knew the drop step in the state today is one of the biggest things that people talk, the drop step. And you said, why you never teach him that? I never knew I was doing that. So that's what you said to me, why you never teach him this? I said, what? So that's one of the things I've learned from you. Another thing, I remember, I was 13 years old. And back in the days, I was at the bar, and I was cashing out the bar. Like, you have no business doing that, but because I was mission, so I was there cashing out, and I was struggling, Mr. Russell, struggling. I said, struggling. And I remember Errol Ames, Reds. I said, man, why you take it? That's easy. He said, leave the man alone. Let him figure it out. Let him take his time. And you're probably looking at me and saying, man, this guy really doesn't know, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he hesitated to get it done. It's, leave him alone. Let him figure it out.
That's dead right.
So I was like, really? I mean, I was very, very, I would never forget that day.
You were a determined youngster.
Yes, I think you saw the determination.
You were there, whether you're on the court or off the court.
Yeah.
You had a passion which was phenomenal. And everybody watched you and watched your development. Really special.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I mean, you could have seen that in me. And I also remember one day I told you I went to Rosal trying to get some land to build the courts. And I said, I got turned down, and you look at me and said, you're a Delray Allen. You figure it out. So what? you find a way. And I think those words that sometimes people know your potential, what you're capable of by seeing either the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you move, and can tell that the person is not a quitter.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's probably what has made you the person you are today. And for you to come back with it, offering yourself, your services, your knowledge, offering to spearhead a development to benefit grassroots kids of Jamaica, young promising players who have never had an opportunity to hold a tennis racket in their hand. This is really special. And I salute you and I thank you in advance for
Great
your
appreciation.
special efforts.
Yes.
And I am, as long as I'm alive, I'm here to support you, to work with you in whatever way best to ensure you achieve your whole development plan for tennis.
I greatly appreciate it. Because I really looking back and say, if someone don't do this, the game of tennis, you know, living in the state, people like, you from Jamaica? You play tennis? Like, tennis? How? You know, like, how you play tennis? But I said, I was lucky that I live in a good part of Jamaica where people build hotels around me. So if I was living in some part of Westmoreland, some part of Trinidad, Port Antonio, or St. Elizabeth, where there's no ocean close by, no hotel built. So I told them I was fortunate that they have hotels around me. That's why I learned to play tennis.
Tennis courts, yes.
With tennis courts. So without that, I would never have the opportunity. So I was fortunate that I was in a good location for that. And you know, I'm looking at kids growing up. Most of these kids that were given opportunity to will never have the day in life to hold a racket, get free shoes, free education. So we're hoping that through the tennis program, kids will get some of the best grades, go scholarship to some of the best university, whether it's an academic scholarship, a tennis scholarship, to some of the best university in the world. If they're good enough, they have the opportunity to become a world-class tennis player, represent Jamaica, represent the world. So we're hoping 10, 15 years from now, the next year's Open champ is coming from Jamaica. That's
fantastic.
The vision.
Please don't let anybody discourage you from the school.
You know, one other thing I've done, I've changed my name, to water. Water is the biggest energy in the world. The world can't survive without water. You can stop fire, but you can't stop water. So I'm the water of the world that no discouragement will stop this water. That's what I look at life right now. And with your support and all the other support, we believe that this can happen. It will happen.
And thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing this with me.
I greatly appreciate it.
It's been absolutely fantastic
Yes.
being with you today.
Yes. Pleasure, good.